Ballet, a word borrowed from the French and derived from its Italian origin, balletto, literally and simply means to dance. Now tonight we're not just going to talk about ballet, but we're going to talk about a more somewhat taboo component, the male ballet dancer. Now, thanks to mainstream pop culture, some people may define this as a male ballet dancer. I mean, one, that's Jim Carrey, and two, I mean, it's okay. It's not really right. But I'm here to educate. So I guess the best way to do that is to go all the way back to the beginning, to the Renaissance era, which is my personal favorite of history. Back in the Italian Renaissance courts of the 15th century, ballet was originally designed to invoke crowd participation. Right? If you look at any classic ballet like Swan Lake or Sleeping Beauty, there's always a large court dance involved where the entire cast is dancing. Now, ballet spread from Italy to France with the help of the French king's mother-in-law, Catherine de' Medici. Now, she quickly realized that the French aristocrats weren't as willing to support ballet as much as the Italians were. So she kind of created the very first board of directors. You know, they got to use ballet to promote their own agendas, whether political or personal, and they gave her their money. So, yeah, it's amazing how some things don't really change. King Louis, he was the person that took ballet to that next level. You know, he was so passionate about it as an art form that he appointed the best dancer in his court, Pierre Bouchon, to teach him every single day. And Bouchon later became the person who created the 5 basic positions of ballet that we know today. So yeah, ballet was changing and music had to change with it, right? So Louis commissioned Jean-Baptiste Lully to create a sparkling new ballet called the Sun King, which became Louis's nickname. And that's because he played the title role when he was 14. And how do you think he got cast? Well, I mean, he was the king. So there's that. Fun fact, how many of you have actually seen a ballet? Okay, awesome. That's pretty cool. So you might have been thinking like, man, this 2.5-hour show is really long. When is it going to end? Well, the Sun King was 12 hours long. I don't know, but I can't even sleep that long. My goodness, like, it's crazy. I mean, the show was just so massive that there was a set piece that got burnt down every single time. That's how crazy it was. The Paris Opera was founded in 1669, which was the first professional ballet company and academy by King Louis. It's amazing how, if it happens in France, it's kind of a trendsetter throughout history, right? Whether it's fashion, beauty, literature. If France is doing it, you better believe that everyone and their grandma's doing it. So it spread like wildfire throughout Europe, from Germany to England to Denmark to Spain, even all the way to China and Japan, right? But maybe the most notable was Russia. Now pause. I'm supposed to talk about the male ballet dancer, right? And when you hear me talk about ballet, you're probably thinking of beautiful ballerinas and tutus and point shoes just floating across the stage effortlessly, right? Yeah, well, you're not wrong. Yeah, not at all. But believe it or not, during King Louis's reign, only men were allowed to dance ballet. Yeah, girls weren't even allowed to like step touch in the corner or do like Ben Snap, right? They just like, they were scenic dressing, and that was it. And that's crazy because that means that the ballet that we know today was created by men for men. So what happened? How did that stereotype of if you're a male ballet dancer, you're weak or unmanly or stupid, how did that form? Well, honestly, I don't know, but history tells us that during the French Revolution, there was some hatred towards the aristocratic male dancer. And that's understandable considering that the entire revolt was based on tearing down the elite. So the male ballet dancer kind of just disappeared and the Romantic era emerged. The stage was dominated by star female ballerinas, you know, dancing on point. Their skirts were shorter so it could showcase the work that they were doing. And they had stories like Giselle and Coppelia that featured heroines rather than heroes. Now, another stereotype is that we're not athletes in general, you know. Well, consider this as a fact, that I do as much running, jumping, and throwing as any pro athlete. I just lift and throw human beings over my head instead. And, you know, smile, and make all that hard stuff look easy. And the worst part of it is that we have to wear these terrible torture devices, these. They're horrendous. I don't understand. Those are dance belts, so if you ever wondered how we got that ballet bulge, that's it, you're welcome. Yeah, it's basically a jock strap, but much, much worse. Yeah, I never want to rip that thing off more than after an 8-hour day. Now, Rudolf Nureyev, Fernando Bajones, Robert Hill, and Baryshnikov. Yes, these guys were legends that broke that stereotype into a million pieces. For me, it was always Misha. He always inspired me, right, from day one. And it was probably because he was, unafraid and comfortable with who he was. You have to be if you defect from your home country of Russia and come to America and be a director of the National Ballet Company and become a star across film and TV and Broadway all over the world. Yeah, doesn't sound like someone who's scared to me. Now, where do I fit into all this? Well, I'm the artist in residence and principal dancer of Orlando Ballet, but I wasn't always on that path. Right? I actually started off in hip hop and tap. And while I was studying at Juilliard, I was only doing ballet for a few months, mind you, and I got a call from Robert Hill, and he was offering me a professional ballet contract. I don't know what he was thinking, but I became the youngest dancer at 16 in the company. So, and during my years of all of this, I learned that the world doesn't want just a ballet dancer anymore. They want an everything dancer, an artist. And so I started choreographing. I have 13 productions under my belt, including Beauty and the Beast and Mad Hatter's Wonderland, where I also composed the music as well, and even danced in them, tap, jazz, yes, even in a ballet. And I want that to be my legacy for all those future everything dancers, those artists, right? And the best thing is that it's happening here in Orlando, right? And it's because of you guys, because you're imaginative, you're dreamers, you're curious, and you embrace the arts, right? So that means our future is unwritten. And I know that whatever we can dream it to be, we can make it a reality.